Hi, welcome to my channel, America Teacher 5th grade, where we learn all things concerning 5th grade. Today we are studying American history, and actually we're not studying, we're kind of doing a Chapter 6 review out of our Making a New Nation history book. Before we did that, since we were talking a little bit earlier about like a grist stone and how it helps grind things. This is one that I picked up from Plymouth Pawtucket, and I bought some of their recipes. They all looked really delicious. I couldn't get them all, but this is some of the corn that was ground, and some of the ingredients that they have in this again is their sweet corn, white rice, onion, parsley. Anyways, they put all of this. This could have certainly been something that they would have eaten back then and be fairly delicious. This one maybe not ground so much, but it's a Hearthside butternut bisque, and so they have like some dried butternut squash that is in here, and then they just added some other yummy things like carrot, onion, brown sugar. So this one wouldn't have used the mill, but again, these are things that they certainly could have eaten 200, 300, possibly even 400 years ago. I don't know if they would have had all the fun seasonings like, you know, brown sugar and ginger and those sorts of things, but you know, they could have certainly grown sage. I don't know, maybe they could have traded for brown sugar since they did have molasses back then, black pepper, those sorts of things. We are a little bit spoiled in being able to go to the grocery store, but I feel like all of those things were available, or most of them were available back in the day. So we're going to go ahead and start with our Chapter 6, and we're going to do it again out of order. I just feel like it's easier to do the timeline questions first. So notice this timeline: 1600, 1650, 1700, 1750, and so we are now doing units of 50 years, but at least they're all even. And so the first one says Peter Stuyvesant arrives in New Netherland in 1647. In 1664, it says England takes over New Netherland. In 1681, William Penn founds Pennsylvania, and in 1720, the Great Awakening begins in the Middle Colonies. So let's use this timeline to answer these questions. Number 7. How long did Peter Stuyvesant govern New Netherland before the English took over? So this is 1647, and this is 1664. So you can do that either by subtracting this number from that number, or you can count forward. That's usually what I do, like 1657, 67, 20 years. So I don't know if you can see like my fingers. So 57, that represents 10, and then I would kind of go 58, 59, 60, 61, 62, 63, 64. So 17 years he was in charge. Certainly, I don't know, sometimes we think, oh, term limits, and I guess his was out. So let's check out let's do number 8 real quick. When did William Penn found his colony? Well, that's just right there for you, isn't it? Okay, and you can answer that one. Summarize the chapter. Some of the key facts were that people came to the Middle Colonies from many places. A second key fact was people had different backgrounds and religious beliefs. And a third key fact was that there were many ways to make a living in the Middle Colonies due to its geography and climate. I'd like you to take all 3 of those and write a nice little summary in 1 or 2 sentences. And it does say, complete this graphic organizer to show that you can summarize facts about the Middle Colonies. All right, I'm going to scooch it up a little bit right here. Vocabulary. Identify the term from the word bank that correctly matches each definition. So let's check out all the words in our word bank. Refuge, proprietor, immigrant, militia, artisan or artisan, apprentice. Number 1, a volunteer army. Which one of these words matches with that? I'll give you a clue. It's not refuge. Number 2, an owner. Number 3, a person learning a skill. Number 4, a safe place. Number 5, a craft worker. Number 6, a person who comes into a country to make a new life. Facts and main ideas. Answer these questions. Number 9, how did some enslaved people in New Netherland gain more freedom? Number 10, how did William Penn plan for self-government and religious freedom? You know, I think William Penn is truly a hero. It sounds like his dad was pretty rich, if he can rich enough to loan money to the king. So, and the king was like, well, I'll just give you some of this land instead of having to pay you back for your son. But I feel like William Penn gave all of that up for his religious beliefs and came over here to live in harmony with the Native Americans. I think that's truly amazing. I definitely would encourage you to study more about him. Number 11, what were 2 effects of the Great Awakening? You might have to go back and listen to that one, or maybe you can think about it. Go, please talk it over with somebody else, a friend or a parent, somebody maybe in your homeschool group. Okay. Write the letter of the best choice. 12. What religious group found refuge by purchasing land in New Jersey? A. Puritans, B. Catholics, C. Quakers, D. Anglicans. Again, what religious group found refuge by purchasing land in New Jersey? Okay, number 13. Which of the following was the most widely grown crop in the Middle Colonies? Was it A. Tobacco, B. Cotton, C. Rice, or D. Wheat? So remember, again, think Middle Colonies. Most widely grown. And let's think. I don't know if they talked about that one as much. I can understand why you would choose 2 of them. All right. Critical thinking. I'll scoot that down just a little bit. Here we go. Sorry, it's a little crooked. Here we go. Maybe I should pause it while I do that, but we're just going in real time. Here you go. Make it relevant. In what ways was the population of the Middle Colonies like the population of the United States today? That's interesting. 15. How did life in the Middle Colonies compare to life in New England? So that would be a good one for a top hat or a Venn diagram. Start off with that, and if you just drew me one of those, I'd be thrilled. 16. Why did New York City and Philadelphia become important to people who lived outside these cities? Skills. Make an economic choice. Review the information on page 246, 247. Then describe an economic choice you made and the trade-offs and the opportunity cost of your choice. So I'll go back to that just a moment. If you want to take a screenshot of this page, I'll slide it down just a little bit more, and then you can focus on that. I already read it in the other one. Okay, now I'm scooching it back up so we can do the writing. It says, write a research report. William Penn built good relationships with Tominend and other Native American leaders. Using facts and details, write a report that tells how Penn did this. So you could write it in third person, or you can pretend to write it from the point of view of William Penn and kind of like do diary journals, or maybe a timeline, or maybe you can even do it from the point of view of Tamanend, or find out who some of the other Native American leaders might have been and what tribes they represented, and write it from their point of view. And the next one, write a persuasive letter. Imagine that it is 1700 and you want to be an apprentice. Choose the type of work you want to do. Then write a letter to a business owner and tell the person why he or she should accept you as an apprentice. Okay, so you're kind of like going out and like your resume or something like that, you know, a letter of reference. So think about that, write a letter. What are some of your character traits? Are you a hard worker? Are you quick to learn? You know, you're like, hey, I just need to see it once and then I know what to do, or I learn quick, those sorts of things. Anyways, we're already all done. Thank you so much. We're already done with chapter 6. We'll be moving on to chapter 7 right away, and finish it up. And again, if you are like part of a homeschool co-op, or if you have other people in your group, sometimes instead of just having students learn all about one thing, like, you know, I would probably have them like listen to all of it, but then kind of divvy it up and say, okay, divvy up the groups into 3 groups, where there's a New England group, a Middle Colony group, and a Southern Colony group. And then just have them do different things, like, you know, have one person be in charge of geography and climate, and they can either do a little play, or they can do like a news cycle based on, you know, like have an agricultural report, have a socialite report, you know, hey, Benjamin Franklin created this new thing, just all these little interest stories. It would just be a little bit more fun and a little bit more creative, project-based activity. And I'll mention it again. But in the meantime, thanks again for sticking with me, for your self-discipline, self-reliance, self-respect, and respect for others. You keep improving all the time. Thanks for being kind, and know that I think you are a fabulous, amazing human being, and have a great day.